Crochet Bays! Time to review one of the most widely used yarns that you've probably always heard of. So this brand is Lion Brand Yarns, Mandala version. Okay, so this comes in a cake. So if you guys don't know what a cake is usually a cylindrical shape. So it's kind of flat on the top and the bottom and kind of rounded around the edges, so it kind of looks like a little cake if you were standing it up. So this specific yarn, I just love the color. The color is very beautiful. They do say, especially when you buy yarn, you need to make sure that the dye lot is the same. So here's article number, color number, and then lot number. So if you want to get something that's very similar, the same, if you want to buy 2 or 3 cakes to make like a sweater, or like I would say make sure you always check the dye lot number. But basically this one is just a beautiful colorway. Oh, it's so beautiful. Look, it starts out with like a medium teal color in the center, and then you get kind of like a beautiful turquoise, a light turquoise color going on the outside, eventually fades to white, light gray, and then dark. And so this specific brand, I usually really love Lion Brand. It's very comfortable, pliable, you can really use it. It has a lot of strength. So we're also going to test the strength of this yarn. I'm going to try to rip it, which that's what my husband and I always do. We always grab the string and try to rip it to see how strong it actually is. So we're going to do that. But first I wanted to talk to you guys about the little specks on the side, because everybody overlooks this part a lot. They usually just look at this and think, I'm going to get that, and then they look at the color and say, I definitely want that. So what we're going to look here is, it says 1 ball of yarn to do a scarf. Okay, so if you're like me, when I saw that I thought, no. The way I crochet, I tend to eat yarn pretty fast. So I thought, I'm going to get 2 of these. But they're really telling the truth. It has 590 yards in it, which is pretty big for this light yarn. I mean, it's a number 3 on the on the scale of thickness. So it's considered a light yarn. You can use a 5mm hook on it, and then you can also use knitting needles. So this is for knitting and crochet, obviously. But I used a 5mm hook. So you can use higher or lower, depending on what you like. But for me, it was the truth. Like, I really only needed 1 ball of yarn, and I did not check the dye lot. I got this one and I got another one. I just grabbed, but because I was so excited about the color. But I was lucky enough on that first ball of yarn to get one that was, the beginning inside was dark, very, very dark gray, and then I traveled through the whole cake, and then at the end I had gray again. So it ends very similar, and really not that too far off, pretty close. Actually, this scarf just by itself, this is 9.5 inches wide, so that's pretty thick, and it's a really soft, kind of like when you hold it, it's really stretchy. So you got a lot of stretch, a lot of play and give, and depending on what stitch you do, it's very pliable. You can really do a lot with this. And this scarf, just this one little cake, this little tiny cake of yarn, got me a 5.5 foot long scarf. So let me just kind of spread this out for you a little bit so you can see. So I started out with this dark, and the variegated yarns are very beautiful because you can pick the color you like, and then you end up with these beautiful colors, and you don't even have to work to switch the colors. So it goes to like a medium gray, and then it switches to like a grayish teal, which I thought was so beautiful. Then you kind of go over to a medium turquoise. Ooh, this color is so pretty. And then you kind of get over to like a lighter turquoise, and then a real pale turquoise, and then it goes into white. So the switching isn't really that bad. They just kind of fade out lightly. Let me find one more. Okay, so right here. you know, just kind of fades real lightly. You know, if you have it wrapped around your neck, you're not going to notice. So back to a light gray, medium gray, and then the black. Not black, but kind of like a darker gray. But that is such a pretty, pretty color, especially for a scarf. And, you know, it's really nice. Pretty even, too. And if you get one, you know, if you find a cake that starts and ends on the outside with the same color, you'll have similar results. This particular stitch that I used is called a lacy scallop, or some people like to call them cluster V stitches, you know, because you kind of cluster them together. So you like start your double crochet, cluster it, and then you bridge it with like 2 chains, and then you keep clustering. So I could have another video of that to show you guys how to do that, because it's a very extremely fast stitch. This only took me a couple hours to make up this whole scarf, and I'm honestly going to say the longest part for me was just measuring and cutting the fringe. And oh, the length of this, the 5.5 foot, is actually minus the fringe. So if you cut the fringe off, that's how long the scarf is. So I thought that was beautiful. You know, you wrap it up and it's so thick and soft, stretchy. You really get, I feel like you get a really good deal. You know, for only $5 for this cost me, I think I said like $5.38 earlier. And that's a pretty big chunk of yarn, you know, 590 yards. That's awesome. Okay, so let's get back into this. Sorry, I kept rambling because I love this. I'm so excited that I got to make that. I'm going to keep that forever. No one else is getting that in the family. So it says it's machine washable and dryable, but this is not an anti-pilling yarn. It says 100% acrylic, which acrylic yarns tend to pill a lot faster. And if you're wondering what pilling is, just type in anti-pilling yarn on Google and you'll find a lot of brands. Like Premier Yarn has a lot of anti-pilling yarns. So pilling means if you keep throwing this in the washer and dryer over time, it's going to make little balls, little tiny little fuzz balls all over, and you're going to have a tough time getting them out. So that's the type of thing where you'd have to probably wash it and then set it out to dry without putting it in the dryer. But it says machine washable and dryable. I'm too scared to do it on this because I love how this turned out. If you are braver than me, then go right ahead. So right here it says the max water temperature can only be 105 or 40 degrees Celsius. So you can't go over that temperature or you will mess the yarn up. Okay, so the next symbol, this little triangle with the X, that means not to bleach. So no bleaching on here. If you want this beautiful color, you know, this deep teal turquoise color, no bleaching. No bleach for you. Okay, so this next symbol here, the little square, that means tumble dry low, like so low heat. So you can dry this product, you know, if you wanted to, if you absolutely had to, you could dry your scarf, your sweater, whatever, but it has to be tumble dry low. It can't be any higher than a low heat setting. Okay, so obviously this is an ironed, so do not iron. You will probably melt your fabric or damage it severely, so just don't do that. And a lot of people don't know this, but the little circle symbol means you can dry clean it. You can dry clean, but do not use a certain solvent. So this solvent is actually, I looked it up to double check for you guys. It's actually trichloroethylene. So you can dry clean your product. If you had to take this to get dry cleaned, you could dry clean it, but tell them specifically, do not use the product trichloroethylene on this, because it will ruin your product that you've made. So be careful about that kind of stuff. You know, you really have to read these. If you're not sure, do your research, look it up, just type in yarn label washing instructions and you'll find almost everything you need to know. And there's like 50 or 60 labels, you know, that you need to learn, especially if you like to crochet. You don't want to mess up something that you took hours or days or even months on. You don't want to ruin it in the washer just because you didn't take the time to learn your symbols. Okay, so what I was saying earlier is for knitting needles. So you can knit with this. You would need to have 3.75 millimeter knitting needles. So crochet is going to be 5 millimeter hook or an H8. But sometimes, I don't know if you guys do this, but I use my hooks. I have all sizes of hooks, but my favorite size hook is 5.5. So I have a specific hook that I like to use. It's not this one, but it is a Susan Bates. But I tend to, if it's around 5.5, you know, this says 5. If I want to use my favorite hook, I'll just go up a half size and just use my favorite 5.5 hook, because honestly, if you just want to enjoy the project, you picked out this yarn for a reason, right? So you picked out this yarn, let's say you're like, damn, that color is beautiful, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna enjoy this, it's so soft, and then you're crocheting away, and then you're like, oh man, I really want to use my prized crochet hook. Then you can, as long as it's, you know, something comfortable, you feel comfortable doing. You know, this was with the 5. It's not loose, but it's pretty stretchy. It'll be even looser if you use a bigger hook, because you're going to be spacing it out more. Your gauge is going to be a little bit off, but it'll give a little more drape. It'll be a little bit loose. So whatever makes you guys comfortable, that's perfectly fine. So basically, anybody that picks out yarn, you're gonna fall in love with this yarn. It is so soft. But just remember, it will pill after a while. It's not invincible to pilling. You know, I'm just too scared to actually wear this and wash it, because I think it turned out so pretty, and mostly just because of the color. I didn't have to really work on that. It just did it itself because it's so beautifully colored. Also, I think I mentioned it earlier, but this is a center pull yarn, so you can just keep pulling out of the center. And I thought it was so soft, so easy to work with, and I just feel like it really glides. So when I crochet, I usually wrap it around here, wrap it around my ring finger, and then I have it here, and I pull, and I keep my finger kind of up. And I felt like this yarn, it's made so soft that it kind of glides really easily, and it's light, so it's thin, but it's comfortable. So I don't know if you can see it up close, but that's what it looks like. It looks like, you know, like a regular 3-ply yarn. It has about, I don't know if you can see, 3 things in there, like 3 strings wrapping up. So now we're gonna test strength. So let me get my scissors, and I am going to, oh, I love these scissors. You know what? Just a fun fact. I got these at our city dump. They have a place where you can donate, and kind of like a little thrift shop. I got these for like $2, and I looked them up, and they were so expensive. But you know what? $2 or $3 scissors at the thrift shop saved me $20 to $40. So I cut off a little bit of string about here. So I'm going to try to break this with just my strength. And I used to be a commercial painter. I painted houses for 4 years. So I was lifting 5-gallon buckets all day long, extension ladders. I would pressure wash the house, you know, any house that we were working on. So I'm pretty strong. I like to say I'm pretty strong. So I'm going to try to break this, and then I'm going to give you guys a little idea on how much strength you'd have to take to break this. If, like, let's say you're walking and you got this caught on something and it ripped. Let's see. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this is what happened. Kind of tore a little bit. I didn't take a lot of effort to rip that. I mean, honestly, it really just didn't take me that much effort at all. I did feel it kind of pull in my hand around here. It kind of gripped my hand when I pulled. But honestly, really not, let me get the right end here, really not super, super strong. I mean, I felt it really tugging. So if you want to say it's a pretty strong yarn, I would say. So that took me 2 times to pull, but I really wasn't pulling that you know, that hard. So honestly, I say the strength of it, and especially, you know, just two of them together, I can't pull it. I can't pull the second one apart. The first one, it's really taking a lot of strength. You know, I'm stretching it really thin. It's kind of hurting my finger a little bit there, see? So actually, this is a pretty strong yarn if you're worried about that. I mean, I worry about that. I don't want to buy a yarn that's not going to, you know, hold up over time. So that one, I felt like it was pretty strong. I would buy that. Sometimes I do that before I buy it. Just take a little end out and try to pull it to see. But yeah, so far this yarn is wonderful. I've loved it. It has a really great strength. So strength is great. Color is amazing. I love this color. Would I recommend buying this yarn? Yes, 100%. Go out and buy it. It's for only $5. You get a pretty long length of yarn, and you can make, honestly, it's not lying. I mean, I've bought yarns before that say, oh, only one ball of yarn to make this or make whatever, and they're actually telling the truth. I actually had a little bit left over, and I had more than enough to make all the fringe I wanted. So, and that's a 5.5 foot long scarf. And I think it's beautiful. It's long enough to wrap around a couple of times on your neck and still look very fashionable. So I would highly recommend this yarn, and it's definitely worth your money. For $5.38, this is a wonderful yarn, and I would recommend it to people. Lion Brand is probably a brand that you guys have always used or heard of, especially, you know, at Walmart. If anybody's ever heard of Alco's or Shopco, you know, little mom and pop type stores, this is a really cute brand, and they actually have a lot of patterns on their website. You can actually find a lot of interesting things to do. Oh, before I go, this is the colorway Genie. It shows you, you know, what it kind of looks like, but don't be alarmed. My husband and I went to the store, so we went to Walmart. I got these at Walmart, and when we got to the car, we were looking at the receipt, and I was asking him, why does it say, I didn't realize this was called Genie, and I forgot, I thought it would show up as Lion Brand on our receipt. No, actually it showed up as Man Genie. So that was kind of strange. It said Man Genie, $5 and something cents, and I was thinking, did I buy something? Didn't realize what it was. I was actually really confused, and my husband and I were thinking, what did we buy? What did we buy? And finally I realized that this said Genie. And I told him, oh my God, we were staring at that for hours. Like, what the heck is a Man Genie? I was thinking of Aladdin the whole time and Robin Williams, but I just thought that was kind of funny, a little fun fact. But yeah, really cute little yarn. So here, I'll just do a little bit here. I'll just make a real quick slip knot. And I'll also have some how-to videos for you guys, so you don't have to worry about, like, well, if you're new to this, crocheting. So, wrap it around a few times. So chaining was actually very fast, you know, very quick. Since it is only a 3-ply yarn, it's kind of catchy. You end up catching a little bit. Not that bad. You know, I'm just trying to go fast through this, so don't judge me just on my chaining capabilities. So, actually really not bad. You want to just do like a double crochet, so, oops. See, I keep getting caught on it. But that's really not that bad. I've had some yarns that are a million times worse. So, you know, if you want to just do a couple here and there. Oops, that's a half double crochet. I'm trying to do double crochets right now. But, you know, pretty quick. I'm sliding through pretty fast on this, so not that bad. So, I think the colorway is beautiful. Everything turned out nice, and I'm so excited. I mean, if you guys have used this yarn, even if it's in a different colorway, let me know. And drop me a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you thought about this. And honestly, I would recommend it to anybody. If you love to crochet, you think that turquoise is a beautiful color, which I do, so I completely understand where you're coming from. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'm going to be reviewing more products so you guys know what you're getting before you buy it. And, you know, if you don't like something, if you want me to review a certain product, let me know. I'll spend my own money on it. You guys don't have to. And then once you watch the video, then you can decide if it's something that you would want to buy. So yeah, drop me a comment. If you enjoyed the video, leave me a like. And if you'd like to see some more amazing yarn reviews, then let me know. And subscribe if you enjoyed it. But I'll talk to you guys soon. Alright, bye.